ask what your night was like?
At the Lemp Mansion? It was interesting, since it is Halloween. I don't even have copies of that book here, unfortunately. But it was interesting. It's obviously a very old house and a very old mansion. And if you like history and you're looking for a great historical place to go and you're looking for an adventure that's relatively close by, the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis is a great place to go. It's a bed and breakfast. It's a dinner theater and a restaurant. And so you can go there at any time. And they sort of play on the fact that it's ghost, because on the side of the building it said, "We're famous from ghost to ghost." It's in kind of it's a part of town that's starting to turn around, but it was in a really bad part of town at one time, and it was not exactly still great when I was there. But the rooms themselves are gorgeous. They're a strange mix of really old furniture with you still have to have a TV and a DVD player and a radio, so and a telephone and everything. And I had two friends who had spent the night there twice before and loved the place. And so when I started telling them I was going to write this book, they said, "Well, you've got to come down and spend the night there. We'll go on a Monday. Monday they actually do a ghost tour with the psychic, so we'll go there and we'll do it. We'll do it in September rather than October, because it fills up in October because everybody wants to go for Halloween." And so we went there and met Betsy, the psychic, and she came into the room where I was staying and asked if it was all right if she brought the tour group through, and I said fine. She said, "Could you turn the lights down to a certain level?" I said fine. Went down and sat there through it, and right before we went down, at the top of these stairs, there's this portrait of this woman there, and I made a nasty comment about it. I said, "Oh my God, that is the ugliest portrait. I hope she didn't really look that way, because that's hideous, So I went downstairs, and we're talking, and one of the Lemps who killed themselves, there was a guy named Billy Lemp, and he was the kind of guy who liked to carry a gun around with him and things like that. He was kind of mean, and Betsy used divining rods, which I don't know, these are copper rods that are just bent in an L shape, and you hold them in your hand. Typically, they've been used supposedly to find water underground. People would go, and when they move, supposedly, I don't know exactly how it works. They're supposed to. I actually saw a city worker, though, find a water pipe outside my office window using a divining rod. Anyway, getting off topic. She had them in her hand, and she said, "Are there any spirits here who would like to speak to me?" And the divining rods, you hold them loosely in your hand, they moved back and forth, And she said, "Okay, now tell me which way will be yes." And they moved over this way, and she said, and then, "Okay, could you put them back toward the center?" And they moved back to the center. She said, "Could you tell me which way will be no?" And then moved over here, and said, "Moving back to the center." And okay. She goes, "Is this Charles Lemp?" And it said, "No." She goes, "Is this Billy Lemp?" And it said, "Yes." And she goes, "Billy, are you happy?" And it moved over to no. And she said, "Billy, are you angry?" And it said, "Yes." And she said, "Are you angry with me?" It said, "No." And she goes, "Are you angry with one of my guests?" And it said, "Yes." And right after that, she made a mention that the portrait at the top of the stairs was Billy's wife. And so as soon as she said that, my friend who was with me pointed at me and said, "It's you! He is mad at you, and we are spending the night here."